Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. More proof of lies. Listen, I don't want to cover this story anymore, but it's the Clayton Echard paternity scandal that will not die. It's like when you watch that horror film and you think you killed Jason and he comes back. Jason being the metaphorical disaster that is the pairing of Laura Owens and her attorney David Gingras, and the never-ending sort of complaints that no one's hearing their side of the story and there's more truth to it. Well, now they claim multiple things that just simply I have not seen any information to back up. They claim they have people that are on their side. The only people so far that I've seen on their side are the experts, the medical expert that she hired, and David Gingras, someone she hired. We have not seen one person. In fact, what's so interesting is the more they talk about people on their side, the more I guess I'll dust off all of my sources, which are people that have considered themselves friends, business colleagues, literally people that have been in the home of Laura Owens, have told me, why they are supporting my cause and what they believe to be pathological lying that is going down. So there was a new moment last night where, we'll put it this way. Have you ever played basketball with a 3-year-old? You ever dunk on one of them? You ever have a 3-year-old try to take a shot and you just block it and then you dunk on them? It just doesn't, it's like, it doesn't feel that good. It gets boring to just dunk on people nonstop. But something about this case kind of feels good when you dunk on them, right? Because they come out with so much raw, I'm 1,000%, a 1,000,000%. This is what Laura does when she's presented with information. She says, that's 1,000,000% BS. She just completely changes the numbers like it's some sort of Zimbabwe currency. 1 quadrillion percent BS. It's like 100% would have done. But either way, we'll share what she says is BS. We'll share the Justice for Clayton response. And we'll just dive a little bit deeper into the silliness on this very slow Tuesday. There is not much going on in the news. But I do have updates on the podcast, the Rush Hour with Dave Neal. We've got all of your hurricane updates, and if you're in Florida, if you're evacuating, just be safe out there, folks. None of this stuff. What really matters in your life and everyone else listening is your inner circle, your family. So take care of your pets. If you need some podcast to cover while you are sitting in traffic, whether it's evacuating or whatnot, there it is, folks. You can scan it with your phone, or you can just search the Rush Hour with Dave Neal. Okay, so let's get into it. David said this a few days ago. For the handful of people who care, Laura Owens and I plan to do a streaming video soon to explain her side of the story. This will include the participation of a Justice for Clayton rep, to be determined. We want to do this next week, subject to my schedule. I will update when details are finalized. First of all, I don't want to speak for anyone who decides to talk to David Gingras, because everybody that has covered this case has their own free will. They can do whatever they want. There is no representative for JFC. There is no group chat. There is no group email. There are just individuals seeking the truth. And JFC is not a organization. It is a collection of people that want to stay updated on all the information that is the seeking justice for Clayton Echard. They try to discredit this by calling it a cult. Now, I'm not going to get political whatsoever. Oh, no, when Dave says that, he's about to get political. David Gingras claims to be a big anti-Trump guy. Every move he plays to discredit Justice for Clayton and to discredit Clayton and me and to discredit Megan Fox, every single move is out of the Trumpian playbook, which is, oh, they're just out in it for the money. There's some deep conspiracy. He tries to sow doubt by saying, oh, people just want to make money off of this. They don't care about the truth. And then you present him with the truth and he goes, anyway, let's move it on to something else. He never stops, much like Laura Owens, to address the things that are on people's mind, like the time Laura Owens faked ovarian cancer. She pretended to be different doctors, and she emailed her then boyfriend, Mike Maricini. She faked being an agent. Mike's got the emails from that agent, where she pretends to be an agent looking for a 6-figure contract for Laura and Mike to star in some sort of radio show together. If you're just listening and not watching, I'm doing the jack off motion because it is just full garbage here. So those are the issues that I say, well, why don't we cross our T's and dot our I's? Before we get into the so many different pregnancy tests, now David would respond with, none of that's important. It was before my time. And I say, I'm sorry. That is the most important. When you can show a thread of lies that have existed for years, before there was a famous bachelor, before there were all these other issues, you can show the pattern of abuse that has taken here. Now, we can look back to this past fall. A whole year ago was when we were introduced to Chase J. Jones, the mythical Chase J. Jones, much like Sasquatch, although there's been more credible sightings of Sasquatch than there have been of Chase J. Jones, much like Loch Ness Monster. What's that in Loch Ness? Did you see a bump ripple in the water? That's more evidence than we've seen of Chase J. Jones. In fact, we have people, if you don't know, if you aren't familiar, the Chase J. Jones story is Laura Owens faked being a black man who was a journalist at Howard University to cancel Clayton Echard for dancing to a song in which the song sang the N-word. He did not. So we've received information from the host of that domain of the email that is attached to Chase J. Jones, and that person, the inside source we have, shared the cell phone number that was used to set up Chase J. Jones. And oh boy, I guess, can you believe it? It was Laura Owens' cell phone number. When you take the Chase J. Jones email address and do a 2-factor authentication on YouTube, who does it bounce back to? You won't believe it. Laura Owens' cell phone number. So when we talk about wanting the truth, it's not just how she was able to pee a measly 102 HCG on a pregnancy test. It is the pathological and, dare I say, diabolical lies that were told in a world where there's already enough division being sowed about all of us with regards to racial issues and whatnot. And she just takes those and she goes, all right, I'll jump on that bandwagon. Autism, sure, I'll jump on that bandwagon. So he says, he basically calls out the Justice for Clayton community, and we'll get into that right now. So Justice for Clayton Official is an amazing Instagram account, and they, of course, just compile everything from clips that I'm saying, clips that are just anything that's out there. And I really hope, and I'm assuming they are archiving all of this, but we'll go to what David said. So he posted this absolutely insane photo comparison, where he made fun of me. Laura faked pregnancy because comedy man say so. So I guess he's talking in some sort of bizarre caveman voice. And MAGA, I guess in reference to Megan Fox. He doesn't like her politics. Listen, I don't like Megan Fox's politics. We disagree on those things. I still think she's a person that is doing her best. I think she's kind-hearted. I think she wants to fight for victims. I think Megan Fox has all of the attributes of what I would want in a friend. And to say, oh, she's on the wrong side of this because she has a different political view, I think is, again, a very simple and ineffective way to try to challenge somebody's thoughts. What? So because I have the same relative political view as David Gingras, he can't use politics against me. So what's he using against me? Well, essentially, the only thing he's ever had against me is that my channel is not a nonprofit channel. That's really it. As if he's, done all of his legal services for free. So he shares this photo, which again is what the Justice for Clayton community is going to do to refute it. This photo on the left, which is quite bizarre, some belly photo of her. And, whenever you see these photos, you zoom them in and you look and you try to find out, was there Photoshop done? Even if there wasn't, that's a normal looking body. The one on the right is like a body that you just, we're not here to judge bodies, but we feel bad. We feel bad that her health is not in a place that is a good spot. And for her attorney to be pimping out these photos to prove his point is sickening absolutely sickening, to the point where I know Megan Fox wasn't even covering the actual contents of the photo. But, these are things she posted publicly and she let her lawyer share. So he responds about her body and says she's too thin. And you have to remember, on the June 10th trial, he had her do a circle, and they were going to use this strategy all along to show pain that she's been caused from the community, which I think we're all responsible for our own mental health. And if she feels stressed out from the community, they've only exposed where she has lied. Someone said, I'm sure she's very stressed. I don't think anyone disputes that, but it's self-imposed. Perjury prosecution would be stressful, as would trying to keep track of the web of lies she created. No one has come forward in support of Laura except you, who she's paying. Now, that's a fact. Nobody's come forward. He responds, plenty of people have come forward in Laura's support. I've talked with many of them. You just don't see them because they're not in a cult. Normal people don't spend months obsessively trying to destroy a stranger's life just because some stupid TV show guy was involved. Now, I have to tell you, whenever we cover Bachelor news and there's a story that might seem one-sided, whether it be, I remember when we covered Victoria Larson, I was going pretty hard on her. Oh, she's the worst. She's this. She's a villain. And then I had people comment in my DMs. No, she's actually a good person. She's caught up in this web of, showbiz or whatever, but she's not bad. People will always vouch for you. You'll get a like on something. You'll get an endorsement. She's received none of that. And look, she's a complete liar. And yet I still would expect someone publicly to come to her defense. Now, you could say her father did, but, no one knows if it was her using her father's account. Even when her father posted a video, it was so short that it didn't provide much context. So anyway, this idea that people are coming forward, no, they aren't. No, they aren't. Reality Steve and myself have both been very safe spaces for people to share their stories. In fact, we did have somebody that early on wanted to support Laura, thought I was the bad guy, looked into it more, and then realized I wasn't, and actually sent me a message to apologize. I've gotten more of that. People apologizing to me, said, sorry, I kind of caught this midway through. I thought you were trying to, wreck this poor person. I didn't know. I followed the story and realized, oh no, she's the monster that she's claiming us all to be. Someone said, Clayton was one of the worst bachelors ever. Definitely one of the most hated. However, many of us have come to his side due to evidence. All the evidence points to her lying. How was she pregnant 4 times in 10 years? 3 of those times with twins while having PCOS, a marvel of science. Someone said, by God, as my witness, as long as Ron Owens has money in his bank account, David Gingras will not stop. Someone else said, Reddit is voluntary, as is watching YouTube videos. Writing Medium articles is also voluntary. Your client's torment is self-imposed. I don't mean this to be offensive, and you already know, at the very least, she can get help with those issues from a mental health provider. It would give a paper trail, and lawyers love that. I went through a crim trial, and med management kept me afloat enough to not drown. So I do think she's trying to put a paper trail together that she suffered from emotional distress. She did this with Greg Gillespie and she couldn't tie her issues to Greg. And now she's going to say, well, I was healthy here and I'm not healthy now. And it's like, look, I agree with her that she's not in a healthy place. I mean, she looks absolute, like anyone in my family, I would pick up the phone today and call them up and try to help them if those were their issues. The problem is her family has let her lie. They've let her perjure herself. They've let her play this sick, twisted game, and they didn't take the phone away when they needed to. So this idea that her family's there to support her. Another interesting moment here is that he says that her family, I don't remember where the quote is. He says the family is there to support her and they're helping her out. If that's true, when she claims she never went to a healthcare provider because she was pregnant and stressed out, wouldn't her family have helped her out then? So someone said this. This is classic Laura Owens. When faced with undeniable proof that she lied, just deny and give zero proof for why it's not the truth. Just like she never claimed she had cancer, which DG told Woodnick he thought she did actually send those. Again, our audience spent thousands, I think $5,000 getting a expert to validate all of our thoughts, which was that she lied about cancer. It's all time-stamped, proven she did all of that. So Justice for Clayton responded, "This is exactly what Laura Owens does when confronted with the objective evidence from Mike's laptop, the one that was forensically analyzed by an expert, and concluded the message were from her, like the one she would claim to have ovarian cancer and fakes, documents pretending to be physicians in order to coerce and emotionally manipulate Mike into staying with her when he was exhausted from her drama and lies. It's the same response. Wasn't me. That is a child's response, Laura. Grow up, face reality, and get some damn therapy." So, again, all this to say, it brings us back to this one moment right here. "Hey, David Gingras, we hear you need proof that your pathological liar of a client, Laura Owens, actually posted the edited picture of herself on the right in your tweet, attempting to look more pregnant in her Medium article. Well, here is the archived version with the picture in question. You know, before your liar of a client dirty deleted the evidence. You are welcome." So what this is here is Dingus, who they're calling Gingras, believes Laura's 1 million % emails like a rookie up in here. Hold on one second. I don't want to play the audio. Hold on one second here. So here's what he says. "I asked Laura if she ever posted that version on the right. Her response, 1,000,000% BS. So here's your chance. Prove Laura lied. Should take you 2 seconds. I'll wait." Now, this version on the right is the version that's been edited, and I guess this version on the left wasn't. Left is from an affidavit, and right is from her Medium blitz while you were on the Mediterranean and she was unsupervised. So, like I said, he says, prove she lied. It should take 2 seconds. But he does this, right? He said the same thing to Greg Gillespie. Prove she lied, and then Greg sent a video recording of Laura lying to him with all the proof in the world, and he just disappears. So how rich is it that he wants to have a discussion with someone and be fair, but when presented with this hard evidence, he just moves it along. He is the equivalent to someone who farts in an elevator and then gets off on the next stop. So here's the actual evidence. On the left, this is her lawyer saying, "I'll give you 2 seconds. It should take 2 seconds." And then they go, "Well, we actually have it in the archive, so it actually took 0 seconds." So here it is, the archived photo that Laura posted of her belly that was photoshopped. He says this wasn't real, and they're saying, here it is. She posted it right here. And this is on an archived site, which means it shows the original version, time-stamped June 24th, 2024. So why is this important? Well, it's just another example of him being, proven that his client is a liar. We have about 100 of these examples. Someone said he forgets who he is dealing with. The internet lives forever, and we keep all the screenshots. Megan Fox said, 1,000,000%, sigh. Jessica said, what's your response? David Gingras, we'll wait. Hey, David, it should take you 2 seconds to respond. So people are waiting. Did he delete whatever Twitter post that came from? I can't find it. I literally looked like the photo on the left a month ago because I engorged all summer. But then my husband told me we were having dinner with his boss, so I fasted for 10 days because I wanted to look hot, lost 9 pounds. He will never, ever, ever acknowledge this and just randomly talk about HCG tests. Facts and logic mean nothing to him at this point. I have never him addressed anything that he cannot just obfuscate and get tangential. It's a miracle that door closes. So this is, people looking at the curvature that exists that made this thing so, photoshopped. Of course she's going to say BS. As we know, Laura is not credible, and this was proven in court. For David to say he'll wait for you to prove she lied is not worth anyone's time. Insufferable comes to mind when I see his post. Well, there it is, folks. I know it was a long way to get there, but didn't we have time? I think that's what it comes down to. What it comes down to is, hey, David, while our audience of people can pull these things up in 2 seconds, I have to remind you, we've got time. We've got all the time in the world to continue to prove your client's a liar and that you are operating in bad faith. Because, look, she's had multiple lawyers. Remember Lexi? God bless those days. We loved a good Lexi Linval. Remember Corey? God bless Corey. They're alive still, but boy, are they dead in the world of Justice for Clayton. You know why? Because they ran away when they saw this case. Now, the difference between them and Gingras, to me, seems as though they're maybe young and upcoming in their career, whereas he's kind of ambulance chasing this whole thing. Some people have said, well, he's going to, he probably lubes himself up with baby oil to this Rule 26 thing. You know what I mean? He just thinks about it. He gets on his phone and just types up Rule 26 documents and looks at it while he jerks off. That's just an idea of what might be going on. I'm not too sure. But some people have said, well, he probably wants to take this thing to the Supreme Court. He did say that and, maybe get his name on some sort of case law because he found a loophole. Listen, I don't even give two shits about any of that stuff. None of that has to do with what we're dealing with if he wants to win on some sort of technicality, which no one really thinks could happen. But if he did, none of that has anything to do with Chase J. Jones being faked. None of that has to do with the ovarian cancer, the manipulating Mike and Greg and Clayton and, hey, possibly Sean. Remember Sean? The Native American who was forced to nearly have his business go bankrupt because she kept on changing what type of fencing she wanted built. I mean, there's so many stories we haven't even cracked the lid on. Looking at you, Matt. All these guys that have been conned. And over here, we're spanking the bank to Rule 26. So when I say we have time, I mean, the schedule is clear. It is a whack-a-mole. So she tries to sue me for defamation. So she tries to sue me for harassment, all these things. What, do you think this is just going to go away? Do you know what kind of hell and fire will erupt if she continues to try to go after content creators who are exposing her lies? It ain't going to look good for her. What the irony here is the only way she's won all these past cases is because she rode the wave of people that wanted to believe women, which are good-natured people. And we still want to believe women. We just don't want to believe liars, especially those that have been proven to be liars. And sadly, she got away with all of this with the Honorable Judge Duty, whoever the hell that is, who didn't understand what a YouTube timestamp was. She got away with it with people that didn't want to look at evidence, because these family court laws err on the side of caution. She got away with draining all these people's bank accounts. But now we sit here and we go, listen, Laura, we got time. We'll just throw a couple more ads in this video and we'll make sure that we are self-sustaining. We're like a solar-powered yacht right now, just sailing into the sun, recharging our batteries as we continue to ride the small little ripples of a wave that are created by her and her attorney. We are here, we are thriving, and we will not stop exposing. All right, folks. If you enjoy what I do, the best way to support me right now is to scan that QR code and join the podcast where we discuss all of the entertainment news. And if you really want to help out, you can join the Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. All those funds help support us. We're a user-supported community. So I thank you guys for all the support, the views, the clicks, the likes, the comments, and the love. We'll see you later. Bye now.